Test, test. All right, groovy. Howdy, folks. My name's Dave, and I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD and found out I had a knack for it. Then I started teaching it and fell in love with that too. So I started this channel to become a better teacher, a better demonstrator, and a better turner because the secret sauce is practice, practice, practice. And I get a lot of practice being able to do this on Twitch as a remote demonstrator, remote educator, I guess. Um, anyway, it's a lot of fun. I thank you for joining me. Twitch Tuesday, I was out for 2 weeks, 1 week at Aeromont, and then last week, of course, let's bring this image back. Had issues with my pulleys here. Um, and so as a quick recap, so I ordered the parts. I've got them here. They came earlier than expected. They weren't due to come until Friday. So that's really groovy. But that gives me a chance to put the lathe back together again and stream. I thought I would stream doing this. No reason why can't stream lathe maintenance, right? You got to maintain your equipment. Um, and things break down. It's just the way it goes. Um, I am anyway. I did get some interesting and what looks like good news, and I'll talk about that in a second when we go over the part here. Let's turn this guy down and let's just get rocking and rolling. All right, so this was the old part. There's a gap in here that I had fabbed some pieces um, um, because when the bearing, which is over here, was riding on there was a 16th of an inch gap between the face of the bearing and this pulley. So, and that has been a thing apparently because I've had to replace two of these already and been trying to figure out what is the problem. And I finally figured out that it was that little gap, or the gap in between the bearing and the face where it's supposed to sit on the bearing. There was a 16th of an inch gap, giving it some wobble. So as you can see on the the new part, that wall thickness there. Well, let me get that out of the way, and maybe that might help. That might be too much. Anyway, that's a 3/16 of an inch wall thickness there. There's less than a 16th of an inch here, and it's sort of kind of eggish shaped as you get when a pulley starts to wobble. So it's pretty much destroyed that. And this is what has happened to me with this lathe at least two other times. So it's nice to finally figure out, or at least what I thought would be, I'd figured that out. But it turns out, hopefully, I would love to think this because they listen to me, but I'm sure, there was enough somebodies to mention this wobble that Jet actually fixed that. So this doesn't have that gap at all. And when I lay this bearing up there, it's right on the face, which is where it should be. So at some point in the very recent past, excuse me, at some point in the very recent past, they made that change, that design change. So I think that's awesome. Still, it's been a bit of a journey just trying to figure this stuff out and having to buy these parts and then waiting for the production times and all that groovy nonsense. So let's get going, man. I can move these guys out of the way. So I've got the new front guy. Let's see if I got enough. Oh, nope, I gotta take those Allen nuts out of this, or Allen screws out of this one here, because I will need to use these. I wasn't sure if it came with them automatically or not. The answer is not. So if you need a pulley for your 1440, 1640, 18, I think even the 18 uses this same pulley system for the Reese drive. Make sure you've got some Allen screws in here, because this is what holds it down to the shaft of the spindle. And I need to turn this overhead light back on. All right, that's too far, but I wanted to see. Okay. And then I've got one more. Now this pulley is it's in pretty good shape. It's okay. You can see it's gotten beat up too from the wobble. But this is at least still usable. So I'm going to hold on to that just in case I need a spare. What I'd like to do, at least in the near future anyway. So I got this. I think probably the reason that this came so fast is I ordered this off of eBay, and it was one of like the last two. So apparently it's been a high volume item. Which means that I'm not the only one that's had this issue. So hopefully they've got, this stuff kind of figured out. This has been a really nice lathe. That's been my biggest issue with all of it, is the wait time for parts has been really bad since just before the pandemic, actually. Okay, let's see. I don't need any of that stuff. This guy's not going on yet. So let's get this guy set. I did notice I was trying to doing some dry fitting. And this, it could be because the other one did start off with a little bit thinner wall thickness than this. It could be that, it is slightly over. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of grease, and I've got some here on a paper towel. I just need a little bit, and hoping that will be enough to help me get the bearing on here without too much banging around. But it is a tight fit, which on the other hand is not bad, because it needs to ride in this bearing. The other one never did. It never really rode on the bearing that way. So again, this is kind of a nice, I'm hoping this is going to work out the way it appears it's going to work out, because this is a welcome change or improvement to what I've been dealing with since I've had the lathe. So that's very cool. Well, I should probably hold my praise before. But with at least that fix, that will not only knock down some of the noise issues that I've been having, but the wear issue is a big, big deal. It has been for me for a while. Let's see. I might. Let's take a look at this guy. It's not cracked or split. I've got a spare belt. I do keep some spare parts, the less expensive ones anyway, hanging around. Bearings, the comestibles, I guess, would be the consumables. Maybe not comestibles, that's more food. Consumables, the stuff that wears out, maintenance, whatever. So bearings, the belt, not honestly expecting that much from these pulleys before, but I'm really looking forward to getting this thing in here to see how well it performs, because, as I said, I've dealt with a lot of noise issues, and boy, that is a tight fit. And wear issues, strange wear issues that it's taken me quite a while to figure out. Huh. I feel like that's a little bit too tight. Because how does one get that back off? That will be, well, I guess a gear puller or whatever, but that would be a little different, again, than what I've been used to. But this is rather tight. Okay, so that was where my thing will go. There is absolutely no wobble. So I'll take it. And I will be very pleased with that. There's no wobble. I believe I put away my spring clip pliers, so let me double check my toolbox over here. Yep, sure as heck. Here we are. Oh man, God, I hope this works. I really hope this works. I'm probably talking way too loud into the mic. I could turn this down since I'm not even. Let me turn the gain down a bit. I do have a clean glove, fingertip. Let's try that. I'm still, all right, so I'm only hitting the yellow line. That'll work. At least I'm not redlining it now. So this spring clip, well, getting this back off is going to be a bit of a chore without a gear puller or, bearing puller. Essentially the same kind of thing. And the reason I say that is because I have had issues putting this as a solid piece into its home. I've had to do it in the past. Every other time I've had to put the bearing in first and then sneak the pliers in to get this snappering on, and that is a really pain in the butt, getting it into that 1.5 inch hole. So hopefully this goes together a little bit easier. I've greased things up a little bit, and hopefully this bearing will want to slide home a little bit easier, because I got to get that guy in there. And actually, I think what might help, that's the wrong direction. Let's see if I can get this all the way back. Yeah. All right, so now the receiver for this has got backup, and I'm going to have to use a mallet and a piece of spindle material to knock this into place. And we'll just work it in. I'm not going to try to fight to get that bearing off there. There's no way. Hey, now. Well, at least I'm not having to smack it, which would be a bad thing. So that's good. Get it all the way seated home. I got to double check the back here to make sure that it is all the way seated. It does appear to be, but just for funsies, just give it a couple of short taps there. So I don't need, let's see, do I need these anymore? I don't. I'm going to put away my spring clamp pliers just to keep that off the lathe. I'm looking forward to testing this out, because if this solves my problem, or at least that issue, That would be a happy making moment. All right, so the belt is there. So I've got my backing there. So that means that this guy should go on easier. Now I've got to get... Golly. For some reason, I'm sorry, let me turn off the mic for a sec. For some reason, finding a frog in my throat. All right. And not a cool slimy one, but a thick mucusy one. I need... What do I need? I need the keyway, or the key for the keyway, which is this guy. I don't need that yet. Double check. Okay, I do have my Allen screws, so I'll need this, but not yet. I need this bearing, which is there. Let's clean that out a little bit better. And it looks like I probably put a thin film of grease on that one, so I'll go ahead and do that again. Just to help things out a little bit. And then let's double check this dude. I think this guy should just slide on. Nope. Okay, so we'll wind up. I'll grease that a little bit later because I'll have to put that on after this is all gone home. I don't remember which keyway accepted this key. That was the one. So I did finally figure out the other pulley, and actually I can show it on this pulley. Trying to figure out why there was really two keyways. And on the old pulley, they created a little key right inside there, and that rode in the other keyway. And then this keyway, kept everything straight. That's not the case in this one. This one doesn't have that. So I'm kind of curious about that too. It's got the, the regular keyway, but it doesn't have the other secondary. Let's move that aside. All right, so what I want to do here, looks like I'm going to have to change my glove already. Let's put just a wee bit. Doesn't have to be a lot of grease. We just want a thin film, or I do anyway, because grease attracts dust and dirt. And you can kind of see if I can get this in the right light, a little bit of the damage done to the spindle by the wobble of those past pulley halves. They've marked up the shaft here. It's still fairly true and it's still clean. I did use some fine sandpaper to clean up some of that, but something I wasn't aware of, and hopefully I won't need to. Well, I shouldn't need to replace this. Okay, so I'm not going to grease that yet, but I am going to replace my glove real quick. Did I not bring the box out? I guess I didn't. Wait, do I have one in my pocket? Nope. And you know what? I'm going with the stronger ones this time. Well, I bought them because they were super disposable. But I like the gloves to last a little bit longer than this. You know what? I'm going to go for the thicker gloves. Okay. we'll opt for that. And I think I can go ahead and put that in there. Just trying to keep grease off of me. I can always go wash my hands and all that, but if I get a chance to turn something tonight, I don't want to get grease all over it. I am going to put a little bit of grease on this key. And the reason for that is to kind of hold it in place. Make physics jokes, increase the coefficient of friction. So that when I put this in here and I rotate this dude around, it won't just automatically want to fall out and drop into the shavings. In theory, let's see if that actually works. Nope, I'm going to need a little more grease. So we'll just do it like that. Oh, I probably shouldn't do that. Let's do it on the side. I don't want to raise the key up out of the keyway, because then I'm going to run into issues with the police. So let's try this again. Sweet. And hopefully I'm done with the grease from now. Or forever. Well, no, I'll need a little bit more to get that bearing on. All right, so this guy's first. So gotta line up that keyway. Ooh, that's a tight fit. Wow, that's a tight fit. Wow, is that tight? I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Trying to see if there's a burr or something I can clean up really quick. I think I see one. So I'm gonna take a file to that and see if that helps any. Let me find. There you are. Okay, which one are you? Are these guys? Diamond file, half round, half round, half round. Yes. Maybe not the best choice for cast metal, but it should. Oh, I got a little something. Come on out of there. Yeah, a little bit of metal. So that might have possibly been it. Let's put that away. Should be a good snug fit. I'm not saying it shouldn't be, but it seems rather tight compared to the last OEM equipment I have been using. Let's see, I want this guy. Get the sawdust off there. Get off there. Check again. Okay, whoop, more sawdust. Ah, no, come on. See? That grease just pulls up sawdust and shavings from everywhere. All right, so I'm going to take just a little bit more here. Grease, that is. I've got way too much. Just a thin film. Don't really even need to see the color of the grease. Okay. in the world? Oh, that's the... I see some little divot marks here and here in the end, and that's actually the end dude for the spindle. The Allen screws in there, and I should clean that before I put it on. Okay. Nope. No. We gotta go this way. And that's the right keyway. This needs to come up and over. There we go. All right. Oh, that grease has helped quite a bit, actually. That's very cool. Oh, let's line this back up. That's my problem. There. Is that centered? Almost. There. Well, let's not beat our hands up, Dave. Oh. I've got tunes from the Phantom of the Opera in my head. Now that's a little different. Oh, yes, that's... Oh, no, let's not do it that way, Dave. So, hopefully... There we go. You know, I'm not going to bore you. Excuse me. Come on, out of there. But this is all, you know, part of the gig. All right, let's line that up. There's my keyway. So that should line up good there, I think. And let's find out. Unless I missed it again. Come on, where is it? There it is. So my keyway on this guy is right there. So that means that if I line that up with that, then those teeth will... There we go. Let's see, I don't really want to tighten this down. I'm more like trying to limit the space that the key can move up and down. There we go. So now that seems a little different, as though it's coming up at an angle. But it could be that spring in the back. There we go. And now I need to line this guy up with this bearing. Or actually, I got to put that bearing on last. Never mind. What is that? Ah. Metal shavings from the old pulley. Sitting on my bench top. Okay. There we go. That's seated now. I can put this outer ring on, which will capture the spindle and the bearing. Well, really mostly the bearing. see, I want it that way. Now this lathe came with like a little spring activated or spring assist little button that when you advance and are looking for different set points on your spindle, you could lock it down with a finger. And I just took that out. And when I put the face of this back on, I turn it facing downhill so that it doesn't collect shavings. Because I went to just a door pin, a hinge pin. It fits perfectly right in there, and it's the right size to capture that. And I didn't need that push button, which sometimes got in the way when I was turning anyway. So I just removed it. It would have been nice if it was a locking one. That might have, helped me make a decision to keep it longer. Oh, wait, that's a problem. I've got to do something about that. Wait. That's not going to work. I haven't got this pulley set all the way where it needs to go. Bummer. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to do something about that. Where'd it go? There it is. But I'm still, I still need to capture that because I got to move that spindle back, which means I don't want to back this out. So let's get that faceplate on here. That spindle has, or that pulley has to move down the shaft about almost an inch to get into the right spot, I think. This might take some testing here. Let's see. Okay, so now any pressure I put against this to slide, I wonder if I can slide it by hand. That would be cool. Maybe work it down. Maybe back this. Well, it shouldn't even be coming close to contacting that thing yet. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick break and get rid of this jacket. Thought it would be a bit chillier. Pretty decent day for weather. October is kind of strange for this part of the world, but chance for more work to get done. And I was talking while I was away from the microphone, and you probably didn't hear a dang thing. I don't know. All right. I think if I can wiggle this guy down without having to pry it. Or, wait a minute, maybe this guy? No, you can't back out of there. Wait. But you sure are going to try, aren't you? Maybe I can use that. Let's take a look at that. There we go. Am I going the wrong way? Nope. Yep. Ew. Let's see. I see my key has moved a bit. It's all the way to the end of the slot, and I really don't want it there. Come on now. So I don't know if this is actually going to work, but I'm going to try to use the Reeves drive to push that pulley. It's probably not going to work. Nope. It's pulling this apart. Let me double check my parts here just to make sure. It doesn't need to be there yet. That goes to the other side. And that goes to the other side. That'll slip over that. That's the end cap. Yeah, there's nothing else in there. Oh. Okay, just making sure, taking a quick inventory that I'm not forgetting. Oop, wrong direction. Forgetting a part here. Oh, now you're not going to spin all the way. Oh, I see. Let's take this off again. I suspect, and I hope I'm wrong, but suspect that this bearing is backed off the spindle now. I hope I'm wrong. Whoopsie daisy. Screws, face plates. Move that aside. Let's bring this guy out. Oh, it's seated. All right, good deal. Yeah, there's nothing else that goes in there. So, let's go with that. It's not doing it, is it? Well, doggone. All right. Now we're going to solve this. I think what might really be helpful is to put, oh, nope, not that yet. We need to get that spring in there. Then the bearing. Oh, do I have a tubular something? Hey, look at that. A hollow form. Yay. All right. End piece. And that should keep the spindle stable for when I need to move that pulley. Let's see here. Tighten that down. And that one. All right, next thing I'm going to do is try a wood shim. This is, wait, let's try this first. Oh, man, that's not a good spot. Oh, that's probably not the right tool either. Where would you be? You would be, I think, in the top drawer. Perhaps, maybe. Yes. Okay. Now, since that's being held stable, what will happen? Let's put this guy in there. When I do this, will that help? Probably not. Dang. All right, that is going to be an interesting issue. How am I going to resolve? Oh, what's going on? Oh, there we go. All right, it seems like it's working. Yay. If I just keep turning this dude, it's getting more difficult as I go. About 3/8 of an inch to go. Nice. Oh, is the spin? No. Oh, yeah, the keyway's moving. We gotta get that dude kicked back again. It's kind of moving the key a little bit while it's scooting. There we go. Nope, wrong way, right? Because this other one should just back off, right? These need to be lined up. There we go. Yes. Okay. So this spindle, this pulley needs to come over some more. Oh boy, that's getting hard to turn. How close am I? Really, it needs to be. You know what? We're going to try that out. I may need to. I don't think that's where it's supposed to sit, though. I'm almost positive. All right, so what I will do is I'll back this guy off. In theory. That's interesting. I think, I think that, no, that pulley, yeah, that runs right through that pulley. So this should slide fine. What the heck, man? Spins okay. No, wrong way. Wow. That definitely shouldn't be that hard. Oh, I'm down to 400 already. Okay, so this pulley does need to come over. That's why it's so difficult. I'm at the lower range, and this pulley here is not lined up with the V in this pulley. So I need to shift this dude some more. But now that I've got that pulled back, I should be able to shimmy it up little by little. And let's take this guy. You don't want to hit it too hard. Just want to scoot it. It may actually, might be smarter for me to take some wood shims. Well, I can't drive them in there like that. Let's see. How about if I take, I know what would work if I can find it quickly. Although I may be out of it now. Just a short piece of lath that I could turn into a key of sorts. Aha! Nope, is that lath? Nope, that is MDF. I'm not using that stuff. That'll just shatter. None of that. Come here. What was this? That's a little too thin. Something. Come on, something. Oh, let's try that guy. Yeah. Although it's probably too small. Yeah, dang it. All right, how about this guy? Let's do some fabrication really quick. So I want it long enough that I can pound it, but not so long that it's gonna stick us about there. So I can rotate this dude. And use more than one shim. Is that gonna be too tall? That's gonna be too tall. Oh, come here. So we'll cut a little more off. And my next question is, am I done? I think I'm done with the grease. So I can lose these gloves. That should probably be okay. And then we'll give it a bit of a wedge shape. Oh, this is definitely going to be too long. But maybe I can use it this way. Spread them apart. I don't know what the heck that was, but I can find it really fast. What was that? Something. Oh, yeah, just a magnet on a stick. Well, might be moving it little by little. At least it's a good theory. Or it might be doing nothing at all. Where'd you go? Shows that it's a bit tighter fit here. So if I make a shorter one and then I can kind of go between the two, that works for me. And I want to adjust the profile on this guy. I think. No, that'll be fine. All right, I'll cut another. Let's see. Let's say it's going to be that long, like that. So I can spin this guy. Oh, put a little bit of a bevel on it. Oh, sorry, I guess you can't. I don't know how important that is, but I guess you can't see that. Let's see now if I move. All right, so I can put this guy wherever I want. Let's say, nope, let's say here. And spin him down. And then 180 degrees out. And spin this guy here. It's probably not enough. Oh, that's still going to be too short or too tall. Hey, but it spread it out a little bit, so that works. Where'd that guy go? Because the other one fell out. That is a good sign, in my opinion. It's going straight. Might be moving it little by little. I really can't tell, to be honest with you. I mean, sorta seems like it might be, but I'm just trying to figure out a way to get these apart. All right, we'll get the spindle in the right spot without beating the tar out of the spindle or the pulley. Come on, Dave, that's too long. Let's go with that guy. Okay, now that's low enough. You can spin it. Yeah, I'm going to stop right now. And then spin this guy. Where are you, man? There you are. Wait a minute. Maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. maybe what I want is that in there. And that in there. And maybe this will let me push it some more. Any little bit that will help. Oh, that's because I'm at the top end now. Go to the bottom end. Hey, that seems to be working. Yay! All right, so now I need to match up my V groove here. And I think I'm pretty close. Let's back this off. Nope, it needs to go. Oh, it is actually almost all the way there already. So we'll just take it all the way home. So yeah, I was kind of thinking the wrong direction. Let's get that dude seated. There it is. Oop, wrong way. Okay, now something about this. Let's take it all the way down. All right, that should be, yeah. So I'm watching my gauge here. It's a Therese drive, so it's kind of like ballpark. Ah, yeah. See, now that. All right, let's put the belt on and give it a test. I think what I'm going to see is, at least hopefully, that is correct. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, I really need to tighten down these Allen screws on this new pulley so I can trap both the key, because there was that issue that key, I don't know how the hell it came out, but it must have been because this was so worn out, and then the keyway came out of this broken slot here because it was bouncing around so much. That's probably what kicked the key out when I had that problem before. This particular problem, I had to get that key back in there. That was really bizarre. Okay, it looks like it's close. So let's get the belt up and over. These are not the easiest to work on. Come on, get around there. Get around there. There we go. And then to get to this guy, I need this. Come on. There you go. easier. Let's do this. Wrong way. Yeah, that's the way I need to go. There we go. Get a little more slack in that belt. Ta-da! You know, it looks like it's running fairly straight. Let me throw on some glasses here, plug this unit in, and see what we see. Now, I did tighten those, but I'm going to check them one more time. Oh my God, that's quiet. Holy cow, that's awesome. What are we doing at lower speeds? Wow, that is, well, that's the rubber belt. And I think
UTFMC6U3CJJHC1 say best view combining asterisk below combining wires as below rfstream.com remove the space at HDQ5GBZK.
something about that is wrong. Hey, thanks, Spambot. I appreciate it, but I won't be hunting for what you called best viewers. I appreciate the sales call, but man, that is so quiet compared to what I've dealt with for the last several years. That is really super quiet. And that's what I've been trying to get to for so long and couldn't figure it out. I'm glad I finally did, and I'm also glad, very glad, that Jet made that change to the pulley. That was a tremendous boost for what I was dealing with. So that's cool. Glad they finally recognized that there was a serious issue with that. Okay, clip. All right, so let's get all the pieces parts back on here. Wrong way, Dave. Anything to clean off there? No. That is paint from the unit itself. All right, now I really want to check this. I think it looks fairly straight. So I'm going to check it again here shortly. And I really should have a Phillips screwdriver for this guy. That's not bad so far. What is that, an hour? That's not too bad. I mean, the lathe is laid here for 2 weeks, waiting for parts, but still better than a year plus. But probably because I got them on eBay. When I went to the Jet website, they didn't have any in stock. So somebody bought a few of these and sold them for less than what Jet would sell them for, which is another great. Thank you, eBay guy. I appreciate that. Okay. So that all looks good. Everything. I mean, dang. I cannot express properly, I think, how awesome that is, that is so quiet. I have not had a quiet lathe. And the belt's probably going to squeak. I was just thinking about maybe I should replace the belt, but I'd have to take the spindle off. Again, yeah, that's awesome. I never go that fast, so I won't hear that noise. Oh man, that's a really good feeling. That's nice. That's very, very nice. So let's get the covers on and see what that sounds like. Should have seen all the debris I had to blow out of here. It was just ugly. But I've been like again. It's a ongoing issue that I've been dealing with. Is this machine eating itself up on that pulley, and me trying to figure out what the problem is. And well, turns out, in my opinion, it was a manufacturer's issue, and I'm glad that they finally figured that out. So I don't go anywhere. Oh, where are you? Oh, almost lost that little screw in the shavings. That would have been a drag. Although I have spares, it still would have been a drag. I'm really looking forward to testing this dude out, man. Oh, this lathe has never been that quiet. Well, maybe brand new. I can't remember that far back. It's been since 2015, so 10 years. Although I don't know when the lathe was specifically manufactured. That's when I bought it. It may have been a year or two old by that point, depending on how long it sat in the inventory. All right, that cover. Oh, this is exciting. Very, very cool. I hope this is going to turn out the way that I'm envisioning it right now. This is the outside. Lots of green timber sticking to the paint. Okay. Ooh, that's why. I had this Allen wrench out, and I'm like, why don't I have the Allen wrench out? Different screw size. I love it, man. These gloves on the box, these ones, say they were heavy duty, and I've gone through several pairs today. They rip easier than the thicker actual, thicker nitrile gloves do. So for light jobs, I guess these will be all right, like maybe resin pouring or something. But that's why it's kind of why I had them anyway, just to see what works best in the shop and what doesn't. Okay, I need to loosen this guy back into its proper spot. There we go. Groovy, man. Okay, that's done. Gotta hear it. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's very happy. That's happiness right there, man. Let's turn it up to speeds I normally turn at. That is amazing. Okay, we'll just count myself pleased for now. and we'll see how long all this lasts. But it looks like they did kind of beat them. Well, they definitely beefed up that one spot on the. Let's just grab it really quick. So originally, when they made these, they made little holes. I don't know what I'm not sure what the design constraints or design ideas were or whatever, but this gap, and not in the camera, this gap, the last 3 times that I've gotten, or the last 2 times that I've gotten a pulley like this, or the set of pulleys, it's had this gap. And I did not pay attention. I mean, taking things apart and like, it looks normal to me until I'm finding out that, this is where it's wearing. It's on the back side of the pulley, which means the pulley is wobbling. It's not wearing on the front. Well, I mean, it is a little bit because the back is, because it's so wobbly. Well, it took me a while to figure that out, I guess, but 10 years, right? But they beefed this up, and then they have beefed up this area, so I no longer have to modify, which was going to be a concern of mine. It's like what I was going to have or check with a friend of mine. Actually, I was going to check with Jim Scarcella, who happens to be a member of our turning club here, and he's got some metalworking stuff. He does he has a wide variety of interests. One of them being metalworking. So I was wondering if he could make me the shim that I was looking for, washer to put in there. That was basically 3/16 of an inch tall and would fit right in there, and that would have taken care of the wobble and now and in the future. But since Jet, I guess, now has finally realized that that's been an issue, I can only hope or assume that it was enough repair tickets or customer complaints or whatever it is that it takes for this to tear itself apart. So I don't have to worry about that now, and I'm really hoping that this means that this is going to last a little bit longer. So I'm looking forward to playing around. All right, let's see. Let's put all these tools away, and let's turn something, man. We got to test this baby. I've been waiting. Okay, let's put all my good stuff back where it needs to be. That goes inside. That stays there. Oh, that means I need to pull out some tools, doesn't it? Yes. And I have just the blank I wanted to use sitting right here to the side. That can go on. Oh, that goes down here. Nice piece of cherry burl there that I want to turn into a long, narrow box at some point. Okay, so my live center is now in. Let's put these guys away where they belong, and I'm going to grab some tools because they are still in my travel bag from Aeromont because I haven't turned since I got back. There we go. Because the lathe has been down. And it's a good thing I came in here because my drive center is also in this bag. Put those away. There's a tripod for the phone. I don't think I'm going to need, well, yeah, I'll take that out. That's peculiar. That's very interesting. I don't see any tools in there. Why is that? Oh, because I moved them over here. Okay. Drive center. Let's get rid of the screwdriver. And my tools are right there. Yay. All right, this is cool. This is cool. This is cool. All right. Tools and handles. That's what I need. So to test this dude out, which means now I have to cover my computer. So let's do that. Actually, before I do that, I want to see something. So, narrative rug FM6U3. Oh, that was the dude. 00 Emma has joined the channel. Hey, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching, tuning in. TC Schmo. Very, very cool. All right, back to OBS and the stream. All right, get rid of this guy. This guy needs to move. There we go. This guy needs to open. The cache. So I don't need that guy. Not yet. All right, so the blank that I have, I got from TC Millworks, was having a garage sale kind of thing. And moving locations, so this is one blank I got, and I thought I would turn a platter out of it, or a small platter or a plate. Which should be the top? Where does all that go? Okay, I think this will be the bottom. Of course, I need to be a little closer with my tool rest, or not tool rest, tailstock. They both start with a T, but that's no excuse. Okay. That should do. And away we go. I need to move this camera up and over a little bit. Sorry for the wobbly camera, folks. Oh, by the way, I gotta tell you, tomorrow night. Hey,
howdy, Mr. Dave.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Dave? So tomorrow evening, I've got a special treat. I have a standing invitation to stream from a friend's house, TC Schmo, across town, and so we're going to turn and carve at least one holiday pumpkin out of wood. I'm going to take tea lights, little battery operated tea lights, and see how that works out. But so that's going to be tomorrow night's broadcast. I'll be broadcasting from TC Schmo's shop. Had that set up. Wasn't planning to really stream much tonight because I wasn't expecting to have parts. And hopefully, I mean, it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. That's awesome that the noise level has dropped significantly, which means that my vibration is going to drop too. That is fabulous. Boy, that just clears the lathe. I knew that was going to be pushing it. It just clears the lathe, but that's okay. Once I turn it around, it'll be just fine. I don't need this big guy. I don't need that, but I do want this. So for Halloween, tomorrow night's broadcast, we'll be turning and carving a Halloween pumpkin out of some undisclosed timber, probably cherry. Maybe cherry, I don't know. Depends on what I take over there. Or maybe what, if Joe wants to make a suggestion, but I'll just grab some cherry, I think. Cherry's kind of fun to carve. And I'm probably going to set it on fire anyway, so... and tune in for why. Tune in for why I'm going to set it on fire. All right, let's move this camera down to right there. But it'll be the same time, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. And I'm looking forward to it. haven't seen my buddy for, golly, man, was it been a week? Something like that. We had to part ways. That's been a little bit over a week, about a week and a half now. Yeah. We had to part ways in Tennessee. I had to come back to reality sooner than you did. All right, so I've got this going on the lowest speed. I cannot wait. Let's see. That is so quiet. Oh my God, I'm going to keep saying that over and over and over because that just boggles my mind. I've not had, this lathe has not been this quiet. This is amazingly, awesomely cool stuff. What I should have done is check my tool height. Close. All right, so first things first, got to make it round. Oh, that's a bit too much of a cut. Oh, wait a minute, I got a crazy idea. It's just fabulous. I love that. Ah, darn it. I figured I'd get tear out on there. I was hoping I wouldn't get any tear out. Maybe let me. Whoa, hey, now that's not supposed to be happening. Why are you loose? Oh, and while I'm at it, I should get my turning smock on because I'm getting covered in shavings in this particular fleece vest. Likes to hold on to those shavings. So let's get rid of this vest and throw on, or actually cover it. Sorry, folks, bear with me. Stepping away to grab the turning smock I didn't think I was going to wear today. I'm so stoked. Short sleeves are now caught in my armpit. Okay, there we go. Let's get rid of that guy too. And get the other hat. Where are you, other hat? I know you're in here, Dad. Somewhere. Or not. Time to put the mic back where it belongs. Right there. Let's see. Looking for a skull cap really quick so I don't get tons of shavings stuck in my net hat. Not that that would be unusual. For, reasons. For reasons. There it is. Okay. One more quick trip. And I'm going to see if I can mitigate that tear out. Pretty sure I caused it because I was just taking a big honking piece off of it. But It's always fun to find or look for something that misplaced. All right. Groovy. Okay. Now I can get started turning. Okay. And my two fabricated little pieces here, I guess I'll put on that pulley anyway. And let's try this again. Okay, it cleaned up a little bit, so I just need to take smaller cuts. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether I want to leave some square to it or just make it all the way around. Decisions. Well, in any case, I got to turn some more up anyway to get rid of all that out. So let's do that and then make the decision from there. So quiet. This is awesome. Almost got it. That's not going to matter, but I still need to come back a little bit more. So cutting lots of air, just a slow, smooth, controlled cut. I'm not making any speed change in the travel of the tool as I go off the piece, because if I speed up, well, let's do that. I can cut away some of this. So I'm taking a regular, this is my speed, and I get to the end and I want to hurry it up. Don't change your speed. This is what happens. You'll get these gouges and tear out like crazy. You don't want to vary your speed when you're call it the dismount, I guess. I mean, it's apropos. It's not changing my velocity at all. Just take it straight off the end. No hurry. You don't want to rush off the end. That's why you get tear out and stuff like that. And it's never any fun having to clean that up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this in such a way that this side and, ooh, that's not, it is rectangular. Haha. Okay, rectangular. That means I can play around with this guy and turn it into an oval. Yeah. Okay, all right, so that's design change number 1. So that means that if I go in, so this is the short, one of the short sides. If I move things in this direction, then this side will be out farther, and so I can get more of a different curve out of that. And then the opposite, but that'll make my ovals on this side where I don't want them. So I want the ovals to be on the short side, so I got to use the long side. I have to move it up this way, turn it, which will, excuse me, I just had to swallow. That was wild. Okay, so when I move this up, that means that side's going to be closer, which means these corners here are going to come off. My oval is going to start coming in this way. Same thing if I go the other way. All right, that opposite side will be further out from the spindle, and then these sides here will get cut shorter so that I'll get more of an oval here. I'll get more rounded on this and more oval here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out and measure that. And actually, well, do I need to? Yeah, I do. And the reason for that is this is the circle left by my live center. I want to match that on this side where the drive center doesn't leave that impression in there all the time. So I want to copy this so that when I move this, and I'm only going to move it to the outside of the line. Well, sorry, I have to go this direction, so I'll move it the points to the outside of the line on both circles. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to mark it this way. Now I've got 2 circles that match in theory, and I really need to cover my computer here. There we go. So I'm going to go this direction, and actually I'm going to help myself out even more because I really would like this to be as symmetrical as possible. So let me grab my, let me grab my square. You don't need to be in there. Why are you in there? Oh, that's why. Grab my square. I am transmitting sound, right? Yes, okay. And my super secret squirrel pencil. Nope, missed it. Let's get a little more light on the subject here. I think that's where I want it. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Same thing for this side. That way, when I set my... missed it. Oops. So everything will be symmetrical, I guess, is the bottom line. There we go. Now I just need my point set. Did I already have it? Yes, I did. So I want to go that way on this line. And I'm going to hit both of these on both sides because I'm going to change my axis of rotation. So I'm going to make it an oval shape, but with a round ball, plate, platter-ish thing. Okay. So get this guy set first. So this is going to give me some vibration. I've moved, what is that, a quarter of an inch maybe. So it's going to give me a little bit of vibration. Let's make sure everything clears. Okay. And make sure that this is secure. So as this comes around, I'm too far away to draw a line for you. Sorry. Let's see. I know one side's going to be coming closer. There we go. So as I draw this circle, you can see that the curve starts to come up here. So that will be the oval curve. And looking at that, I'm thinking, hey now, I'm a little bit off. In any case, eventually I'll get a little bit of a curve here and more of a curve here, and that's what I'm after. I may not even complete that curve, so I've gone a quarter of an inch. We're going to make the sides match. Nope, that would be too much, right? If I cut this down to meet this, nope, that'd be fine. So a little bit of vibration. And we got too much light in the wrong direction. Okay. How's my tear out? A little bit there. Just that little bit there. Okay. So as I'm working my tool, I'm sure you can see from the camera that my arms and hands are not moving. I'm staying in the same spot. I got my anchor set, my bevel set, going in the direction I want to cut. I've also anchored it to my body here. I've got everything going the way I need it to go. There's no reason to change it. All I have to do now is just shift my body forward. I'm kind of in a L stance, but to start at the, I'll get to where I feel I have a comfortable reach, right? That's good enough for me right there. And then I start to cut, and I'm just shifting my whole body forward onto my right foot. I didn't move anything, so nothing's going to change on the contour of my cut. And that's really how I like to teach people to turn, to use your body. Use your body to do the work. I'm thinking I'm going the wrong direction now. I'm going to swap these really quick, take a little bit off the other side. And that's actually pretty square, so that's a good cut. Take a little bit off the other side, then I'm going to take a look at this because I think actually I was incorrect and I need to move on the short axis, the short side of the piece. So let's just take a little off the other side, same amount, so that we're symmetrical. Make sure it's secure in the lathe. I don't want to be too close. That's good enough. The same thing, I start the cut. I have everything set and the bevel cut already before I go. I can rub the bevel all day. I'm never going to get a cut. All right? I want to engage that cutting edge. So I get myself set up on the bevel. There's the bevel. That tells me the direction I want to go. Now I got to back off and slightly rotate the tool to engage that cutting edge, and then shift my body forward. And I can take as thick or as thin of a cut as I want. I want to focus on my rate of travel, that it doesn't change from mount to dismount. I always shoot for trying to keep a steady pace as I'm working across the wood. I think I'm really close. Just so, you know, to keep that steady pace, and the cut just almost makes itself happen. 4.5. 4, and so I got a little bit more to take off this side. Scratch that. 4 and 3/8. 4 and 3/8. So I'm on. I'm good. So let's look at this. Now, as I change the axis going this way, that shortened the opposite side. And so it's trying to make the curve come around here. I want that long oval curve, but I want it on this side. So I'm going to have to readjust. I went with the wrong side. So we'll just make that quick adjustment. Pencil. With my handy trusty square. Not quite, but I can go just a little bit to the left of that. There we go. Oh, I bet you I'm gonna have to double check that one. Make sure I didn't get a little bit more. That's better. Yeah, I didn't actually choose the center one. That would be a problem. That's funny. Drew my line on the outside one. All right, so let's move this square back into its little spot in the toolbox. Get my center punch. Oop, too far out. Wouldn't that be an interesting shape? I go 1/4 inch off one and 3/4 of an inch on the other side. That would be an interesting shape. Excuse me. Cool. All right, back at it. Oh, no. Oh, that's right, because I got too much light in the wrong spot. There we go. guess I'll be a little bit closer with that. All that's going to clear. Put my pencil away and go after it. You can hear that I'm cutting in, the tap, 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 tap as it goes through, but because I've got a sharp tool and I'm monitoring my rate of travel, it's not an issue. Okay. That's more what I'm after. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, indeed. So already one side, well, that side's already round, so I'm good there. And now I can shift and get this side round. I'm not going to worry about these sides too much. You know, I'm curious to see how, wow, I'm only an eighth of an inch off the other side. I'm curious to see how the wood reacts to me going the other direction, actually. See if I can get a better cut. That's too thin. I don't feel like that felt like a better cut. Yeah, not so much. So I got my bevel, right? Anchor, anchor, bevel, bevel. And then I get rotated into the cut. I can always adjust my stance if the bevel, I see it, I need to make micro adjustments to where the bevel is traveling because I'm looking up here when I'm cutting. I can shift my body weight to change. See, my hip is moving. It's changing where this is pointing. I don't have to move my arms. Everything stays the same. As far as the cut is concerned, everything is staying the same with my arms, hands, anchor, and bevel. This is the only difference. My hip is moving. So I can just shift, or if I need to make micro adjustments, I can move my body in that arc. And I'm using, in that way, my entire body to make the cut. It's a lot more comfortable to do it that way. And I find that I can stay at the lathe longer when I'm turning that way because I'm using all the big muscles and not all the little small, finer, the finer detail muscles that, whatever you want to call them. I'm using the major muscle groups, and that means that I can do this for longer. I've had to make some adjustments in my life. When I started turning, I had to do it sitting down. And then I got a sit, stand, stool, chair, and that helped a little bit. But what helped more was me putting a ton of weight down here at the bottom of the lathe, not only for vibration, but for support. And when one leg or the other was trying to give out, I could lean against the lathe and still turn and still process those things that I was dealing with. Let my body do its thing, if that makes sense. The body language. Muscle memory, that's what I'm looking for. That's the term I'm looking for. Let the muscle memory take over. Now, it took some time to get there, of course. I had to practice. And I had to practice a lot. I went through a lot of scary things, in part because I was trying to follow along with people on YouTube. I didn't know who was a good turner and who wasn't. And I didn't know that there was that's a nice cut. There was a turning club even in the area. I tried looking, like I did actually look, and there was no ads or advertisements. It wasn't advertised anywhere. I just couldn't, I didn't know that there was a turning club here. And okay, so I can go down another 3/8. Hold the phone. That's my short side. Yes, that's the one I want. Okay, so this guy needs to come down some. That is at 4. This is at 3 5/8. So I may have to go. I don't think I'll have to go back to the other side, but it's kind of but having the lathe to lean against helped me build up some stamina for standing up lathes for a while, and then I got hooked up with the turning club. I wandered into like going to the library. I wandered into the library on an October 2014, I think it was. No, it would have been 2015. October 2015 or 2016, I can't remember which one. I think I was turning for about a year and a half before I discovered that there was a turning club here in town. That's 4, 3 7/8. Okay. So I think I need to go back to the other side and take a little more off that side to make these two sides match up. But that's okay. Or is that even going to help me? No, that's not going to help me at all, because I'm going in a straight line from one side to the other. So I'm not changing where this is sitting. This is only moving this forward and this way. So anything I take off here is going to come off here. I would actually have to shift this way a little bit, which means I did not hit my center. That looks pretty center. A little bit off the center there. So that explains that. All right. No worries. I'm going to take a little bit more off this side. I may go back to the other side just for another pass or two. Depends on how this thing looks. And then we'll start turning it into a platter, plate, whatever. Okay. I can move this closer. And I can actually get underneath it, which means that most of the force now, instead of going into this and then transferring into the tool rest, most of it can go right into the tool rest. It's another reason why I really worry about anchor bevel cut. I want the anchor to be somewhere on the lathe close to where the head is making the cut. The tool is making the cut. That means more of the force, the downward force against this tool, is going to go down into here, the closer I am to the center post of the tool rest. The further away I'm off, it's got to transfer that load, so there's flexing, and I don't know all the math behind that. I just know or just understand it exists. So, okay, cool. What I don't want to do is move my body in a weird way when I'm making the cut, because I don't want to add vibration. If I add vibration, then it's a whole different ball game. And if I'm not using the major muscle groups, and I'm getting to the point where I'm going to beat myself up, and I'm not going to want to turn. No, I don't want that. So got my anchor set, bevels, making contact. The entire bevel is making contact. There's no cut. I just need to come back, rotate into the cut, and then shift my body. Again, I'm watching the cut happen up here in the ghosting, because it's a lot easier to see than down here in the shadow. I came off the tool rest, so I got to find my anchor again, my bevel, rotate into the cut. I'm taking thin cuts because I don't want to start creating tear out. I'm going to have a little bit of tear out on this edge, just a little bit, right there. But that's going to disappear when we continue on with the piece. But here you can see that this guy, we'll call it 3 5/8, is certainly longer than this one, which is 3 1/4, somewhere in there. So at least it's in the ballpark. This is not quite. Does that matter? Let's see. Where was my bottom? Actually, I think I have this. Do I have this spun around? I sure do. This is my bottom. Oh, I only spun it around for the right direction I needed to go. Fair enough. So now I need to choose the other hole. I got to take a little bit more off the other side. How are you keeping track? I don't know. I'm just getting lucky. Yeah, so I'll shave that off. Ah, yes. No, that's the wrong side to shave off. Ah, no, I need to shave the other side off. So that'll make that one smaller. I don't want that one just to be smaller. I want the other one to be smaller. So this should be the closest, and that should be the furthest. So that I can make that adjustment. Actually, I can make that adjustment. Yes. Okay. So I'm shooting for, I'm working on a third axis, or fourth axis now. I'm shortening this. I just had, my brain finally started to work. So I'm going to shave this down a little bit. I need to get to, basically 3 inches. How close are we there? Okay. For that side, a 3-inch length for that side. That was a little bit bigger cut than I wanted to start with, so I'll come in from the other side and eliminate any tear out. All right, so I'm really close there. One more pass to clean that up. In theory, only one. One more cut. Make sure it's cleaned up this edge here. And it has. Raise this up a bit. So I'm going to go through. Actually, I'm going to work all 5 axes on this piece. I got them all marked out. Getting mighty close. Let's measure this one. 1 3/4. 2 1/4. It's a little bit funny. I just am really still excited about the fact that this lathe is quiet. I mean, you're hearing a little bit of noise now, but it's because this piece is off balance. And it will remain that way until I get back into the main center. And I eliminated it completely. All right, then we're going to go with that. I don't remember the mathematical term, but it's an oval with oblong sides, more or less. I cannot remember the name of the shape. So anchor, I got my anchor set before I do anything else. I want my anchor there, it's there on my body. Find where the bevel's at, bevel's right there. It's riding on the surface of the timber. We've got to come back, rotate the tool into the cut. And take the cut. Sweet. Okay, now we're going back to the other axes real quick. We'll take a little bit more off of those, and then we'll go right back into the main center and turn the bowl. All right, make sure this dude is secure. This is such a nice thing, man. Anchor, bevel, cut. And I'd like to do it in that order, because if I try cut first, I can get a catch. And it can be a nasty one. If I try bevel and cut without anchor, it can be a catch. You know, you get the picture. It's important that you have these things lined up. It's safety, but it also gives you a much nicer cut. Less wear and tear on the body, and that's always a goal for me anyway. I want to be able to do this until I can't, I guess. I don't know what that means, but well into my old age. My hoary, old, wizened self wants to be able to turn wood. Because I enjoy it that much. I want it's something that I want to continue to do until the time of my passing, if I can get away with it. And so I want to learn how to do these things with the body and work with my own body mechanics. It's the same thing for everybody else. You got to figure out what works for you. Of course, getting to take instruction from well-known turners also gives one the option to integrate other things that you learn. So from my case with Jim Scarcella, we didn't really do much turning. I turned 3 boxes the first day, but that was me being bored, and we were just talking and shooting the breeze and all that anyway. Anchor, yep, find my bevel, get it that set, now my cut. square there. Had to fix that. Okay, so that is no longer round. It has longer sides here, or actually here, and then a short, smaller curve. It's not it's more of a squarish oval. I don't remember the name of the object anymore. It's not a rhombus, Dave. That is a square. Oh, nor is it a parallelogram, but it's similar. You can see the sides are different. Opposite sides are the same, but 90 degrees out, they're different distances away. But it's kind of subtle, and that's okay. It will definitely become more evident once I start making the inner part round. So the way I understand this is that, oh man, I've been cutting way too high the whole time, haven't I? Wow. At least I adapted. The way I understand this to be the way to make these platters and plates is basically to cut it into thirds. So I don't know. I guess we could measure it, but I was just gonna eyeball it. So something like that. It's not bad for eyeball. Just for fun. Let's go by millimeters. So not quite that, not quite that doubles that, and that doubles that. It's pretty darn good. All right. Whatever. So I want to mark these lines. And as I said, this is the way I understand, or the way I understand most of these are designed. This would be the rim, or in this case, this is the bottom. So this thickness will be the bottom of the bowl. This will be the side-ish. Well, we're going to turn this into a platter. This is going to be the rim. So I want to get to that. And I want to do it this way. Let's get rid of this pencil. Wow. I mean, there's just the tiniest bit of vibration, like really, really minor because of the distances between the opposite sides. But that's it. I was used to hearing so much noise from this guy. Yeah, I am going to turn it into an OG. Oh, that's another thing. I want to take this and basically make this thirds as well. Where am I at? Here I am. So I'm going to measure out to here. And that would be basically, boop. You know what? I'll measure out to here. 5 inches. So 5 divided by 3 is not an even number, is it? No, Dave, it's not. 6 would be, so we can call that 2. So we'll just ballpark it. With 1 3/4 inches and 1 3/4 inches. What does that leave me here? 1 3/4 inches, pretty close. So technically this could be my foot right here. I'm going to work my way that way. I may make the foot wider out. It depends on how this looks to me. But that would be like the minimum I would make the foot for a platter. Usually I want to have it a little bit wider. Or plate. Plate's not so super intensive that you can only put so much on a plate. But a platter is a larger plate. You can put a lot more stuff on it. So I want it to be more stable. And the way to do that is to give it a wider footprint. I'm working on an OG here. Oh, look at that. Oh, man, the vibration that I had. Wow, this is going to change. This is going to change some of my turning because I'm not getting some of the vibration that I was experiencing while I was turning before. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. All right. I'm glad I got those parts, and I'm glad that they were adjusted to head. That's nice. It makes this experience a lot more fun. Okay, I thinkity think. I think I'm going to go a little bit further in. I could stop right there. That would be a really, really good foot. I think I'm going to take it in just maybe here. Yeah, maybe there. And I'm even a little bit off the tool rest, and not just as smooth as butter. That's nice that I'm not experiencing that vibration so much. Again, we'll see as it goes over time. These last two, and it looks like it was because of the design now. Haven't been. I don't know about that foot. Haven't lasted very long. That last pulley actually was 2 years old. So, seeing the slightly beefed up pulley that I got. Oh, bend over. Come on. Pick these up. There you go. Gives me some hope that they'll actually last longer. I think I'm gonna. Let's see. I think I'm gonna get in a little bit more. You see, I didn't vary my speed coming off the piece. I shouldn't have any torn out grain up here, and I don't. You don't want to vary your speed. You want to come off the piece at the same speed, or maybe even a little bit slower than the speed that you got onto it with. Or at least don't change your speed. Let's put it that way. Don't change your speed. Don't vary it. I think I want to take that in a little bit more. I like this size for the foot. I think that's going to be a good size. So I think I'm going to take this OG in a little bit deeper. I want to see how that is going to work here. Do I like that rim? I think I'll make it a little bit thinner rim because wait, no, wait. Okay, I want to leave it a little bit thick because I want to make a bead for the bowl rim on this side. So I'm going to leave this a little bit, just that thickness, I think. But I do want to take this in a little bit more. So I got my anchor here, anchor on my body. Don't touch your sharp tools, they can cut you. Fortunately, that one only broke the first layer of skin. And then I'll be using my whole body to move the tool. Not going any faster than the tool can cut. I'm cutting downhill to the fibers. Yeah, I think I like that better. Okay. So for my next trick, let's see. Nope, spindle gouge is what I need. Spindle gouge. And of course the other handle. Oh, well, I don't need the other handle, do I? It can stay over there in the shavings all by itself. I will use this handle. Okay. Back to the bull gouge. I knew it. I'm cutting way too high. Although for the spindle gouge it's perfect, so I'm just adjust. Looking not bad. Let's see. Actually, I think I want to do. Let's take another look at this. What I think I want to do. Let's take that in even a little bit more. I think so. Thinkity think. Yeah, let's do this first. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. Yeah, that's looking better. To my eye. There we go. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Okay. So all that is left is to define that a little bit more. And then I'm going to grab my, now that's starting to sound, that might be that. I do seem suspicious, I'm sure, but I'm suspicious. Oh, already got a burr on that. Sweet. I get the suspicion, even though I'm in love. Even though I'm in love, you love me. And I really shouldn't feel the way. Suspicion. Oh, nice. So I'm going to take a shear cut. With my negative rate scraper. All those are shavings. Just a little bit of sanding there, that'll be awesome. And now I just got to finish off my bottom and give myself a place to hold on to this dude. So did I put, I did, doggone it. Oh, well, that's all right. I've got this guy. I was going to say, I put away the tool I was just going to use. But that's okay. Even though it's... That's why I forgot my tool rest was up there. Just take a little bit off, little radius off that corner. Puts me right into there. And still gives me a place to use a chuck to hold on to it if that's how I want to do it, and I do. I think that will be I'll do it. And then I need a spindle gouge. I do like this Jimmy Clues quick release handle, although I am waiting to see how it handles the winter. Let's drop that tool rest down. And I'm going to, I was going to grab my skew. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that should be good enough. Then I'll run some abrasive on this guy, flip it over, and finish off. The inside. So I can get rid of the scrapers now. Ooh! Grab my mask. My brick sand. This 220, isn't it? 150. I don't believe I need 150 on that, but. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I turned this thing the whole time at 400 RPM. But I do like to tell people, don't get hung up on lathe speeds. I do have people, I've heard people ask other turners too, but I've had people ask me, well what, when you do that, what speed are you turning at? And it's like one that's comfortable for me to turn at. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't pay attention to that much. It's a Reeves drive. It's kind of an approximation anyway. I don't know. I think that I want to be I want to be able to turn whatever speed it is. It doesn't matter. And when you are moving your tool across the surface at a uniform speed, your mount and dismount are both slow and controlled. Slow being a relative term, but definitely controlled. That makes a lot of difference in the finish that you get off the tool. Plus, you know, sharp tools, all that. Want repeatable cuts, repeatable angles on my tools. So that was 150. I'm going to 220. That looks nice. And actually, I probably should hit that a little bit more. 150 isn't bad. And I think if I wanted this to have a little bit more rustic look or feel to it, then I would leave it at 150 because it's not a bad grit. It's got a little bit of tooth to it when you feel, so you do get some texture. You feel the wood. It's not as smooth as 220. It's not bad. I don't think I'm going to go with, I don't know. No, I'm not, well, clearly I'm going to change to 220. So no, I'm not going to go with the rustic feel, or what I would call the rustic kind of feel. You feel the wood grain a little more. And I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think everybody should understand what that feels like. There are people who have never touched a tree on this planet. And they live in an area with trees. Never touched a tree. Never been out, maybe never even been outside. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Growing up in an era where children should be seen and not heard and blah, 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 blah. You know, I was come home when the be on the porch when the street lights came on, or heaven help you. Except of course those nights when the parents were both working. In which case it might not quite have been about street light time. Okay, I'm gonna switch to 220 now. Assuming I can find it really quickly, because yeah, I can. Hey, look at that. What are we doing? I got about half an hour left. I think I can do this. Alrighty. That dude's toast. Let's get this thing ready for a chuck hold. Here shortly, when this fan is blowing a little bit longer, I can take this mask off. Alright, let's see. I don't need that guy either. Aha! You're not going anywhere. All right, let's get that sawdust out of that. Little dovetail I made. My sister's toothbrush. No, I'm just kidding. She's in Washington State. I don't have access to it. I hope she's watching because that was kind of funny and mean at the same time. And I think she would get a kick out of it. Maybe. Might even give me hell for it, but that's okay too. Oh, nope. You know what? I'm going to leave this in there for now. I just need to back it off. And then I need to change the jaws because I'm going to use the thick mark. And I need the wider jaws to get into that foot. All right. Jaws, jaws, jaws. It will be down here along with the Allen wrench I need. I've got a larger piece of poplar, larger square, but that's going to be something I'm going to have to probably turn at my friend Joe's or somebody else. Somebody else has a larger lathe. Diameter of this is too small, or the swing of this is too small for that piece. All right. Numero uno. I could use a glue block too, actually, now that I think about it. That is definitely a valid option. Huh. I'm this far. Hey, now. 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh man, that of course depends on. I hope this isn't between jaw sizes. That happens too, in which case I will just go to a glue block. Inquiring minds want to know. It looks like it might be between the sizes. Shucks. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I still need to change the jaws of this guy. That is a bummer. Not terribly a bummer, though. I mean, glue block is just fine. Hey! You go nowhere. You get back here. Two. Well, let's throw some salt on the wound and see what that does. 3, 4. Huh. Well, that still might not make it. Well, let's get it on the chuck so I have a free hand. Really? All right. In that case, I didn't need to change the jaws at all, but I sure thought. I mean, that is close to the biggest diameter that these smaller jaws can make. So, I mean, I'm not going to beat myself up too bad saying that was a bad decision because I've been hit with that many times and had to change jaws anyway because I misguessed. Well, I should have checked that time first, but it's all right. So what I want to do first is make sure that this is really seated. I can get, let's back this off a bit. More force from the tailstock. Pushing that way. Then I can try to do this and spin this at the same time. So I can use this as another hand, push it against the face of the jaws. And that will help me make sure that it's flat against the face and it's secure. So I'm going to hog off a little bit of stuff here. Come on. too low. Nope, okay. All right, so now I want to match. I've left this a little thick here because that's where somewhere in there is where I'm going to put my bead. I need to match this. As you can see in the overhead, let me do that really quick. And maybe shift the camera. I don't know. Anyway, I want to match that angle on the inside is essentially what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to take my time getting there, get my bevel set, make a slight turn with my hip, back out of the cut, start the cut. Oh, nope. Okay, good. I thought I saw a crack and I was leaving a trail of sawdust there from the back side. It looked like there was a crack starting to occur. Okay, so that is where I think the rim is going to be on this platter. I think we'll just make this a wider rimmed bowl. Yeah. No, yeah. I could make the adjustment though. So there's the start of the bead, if that's where I want to leave it. You can see the different thicknesses of the rim, which I think is cool. It's going to just subtle enough to be kind of off-putting. I think that's, or not off-putting, but make you take a second look. I think that's kind of cool. I'm looking for a sander on this guy. And then with these guys, it's not going to take much to sand that. I should have done it while I had it, while I was going between centers, but my tools are sharp, so it left me a good surface. So this won't take long. You gotta sanding with the grain. So in this case, I need to sand away. And then here, I need to sand towards me. Have that grain support, and then the same thing on the other half. There we go. I think, yeah, I think that's pretty cool looking. I mean, like I said, it's really subtle, but it looks like it's like off balance and wild. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so yeah, I think I'm gonna turn this into um, a bowl. Well, God, man, I gotta make up my mind, don't I? Okay. So I'm just keeping tailstock support. Well, I've gotten into the habit because I was experiencing a lot more vibration from this headstock than I am now. But having the extra support means that I can take a little bit of heavier cut too. I've got a 1/16 of an inch hold on this chuck, which is plenty. On this, with matching where the jaws, the point of the jaws, and all that. So it's actually plenty. I'm not doing a whole lot of trying to peel the thing off. I'm not cutting this way. I'm cutting this way. So that 1/16 of an inch with this chuck is plenty. All right, decision time. You know, if I follow that all the way through, it'd still be a really nice bowl. Just be low and wide, and that's fine. So I'm going to go with that. You know, I'm harping on it. I'm harping about it, and I'm harping about it. But this is just a really nice change to not have all that extra noise. And that little nubbin, since it is bowl orientation, we'll just snap that off. Well, I did that because I'm going to turn that away. I'm actually going a little bit deeper than that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. What am I trying to do here? Get rid of my elbow poker. All right, elbow poker's out of the picture. Elvis has left the building. So I think I might forego having that bead. I'll just leave that the way it is. It looks kind of like a ripple, if that makes any sense to you. It does to me. I kind of like the shape of it. So I'm gonna go with it. I mean, there we go. Actually, that light might help too. Yes! More light. Maybe not that light. Nope. Not that light. There we go. Can I get all the way there? I think so. Ooh, it's close, but that's all right. I'll just back that off a little bit. Right there. Cool. Eh. So quiet. All I'm hearing is the bearings, and that's what I want to hear. Just that. It's so quiet. I can hear the cut that I'm making. I can hear how the wood is responding to that cut. That is great. Okay, I can go a little bit deeper. Yeah, I like that. That looks nice. Doesn't look like completely plain, but it looks nice. Okay, the thickness is even. I'll go just a wee bit deeper, but I need to follow this curve a little bit better. Even going through the center, not changing my velocity. Just carrying it straight through. Not changing speed, no tear out. There we go. That's what I'm after. All right, now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that. I like just having that half a bead. I think it looks very nice. Put the guy back, didn't I? Okay. I've got to adjust the burr on it. That's too high. Hey. I'm going to take one pass and then another pass at a shear angle. Not that this also isn't shear, it is a negative edge paper. Yeah. I like it. Ooh. Almost forgot to tighten my tool rest. Stay put, you. There we go. And we're going to hit with some abrasive. Very nice. Nope. I want to take, there's a little bit of hump right there. That does not belong. So I'm going to redress, the burr on this guy. We're doing on time. Oh, 5 after. Well, just about done. Not too far out there. That did it. Now I can hit with some abrasive. Yeah, I like that. It's different, unusual. Tools aside. Mask. Ooh. Sander and abrasive. Come on. Okay, I'm clearly sanding with the wrong grit. Here we go. This is also poplar, but and I don't know if anybody else has the issue, but every once in a while with poplar, it'll take me a little while to get, these little streaks out of it. But I like turning poplar. I really like turning it green too. Especially doing like a hollow form. Well, bowl is a hollow form. Any kind of open form. And then turning it thin and letting it dry. Because poplar is pretty strong wood. I can't remember. I know that part of the thing is it's not as insect resistant as pine. I think. I mean, poplar is still classified as a hardwood. So, oh, that's going to go in the sander. So I think, and I can't, I honestly don't remember it. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of the strength of pine, right? But they don't use it in buildings. I mean, it's been in the past, but they don't really use it in buildings anymore because of the insect resistance and stuff like that. That pine has a better insect, mold, deterioration resistance, I guess. And a lot of people that I've talked to here, farmers anyway, feel like poplar is a weed. They don't want it on their property. But I guess it really depends on where you live. When I lived in Oklahoma, uh, western red cedar and eastern red cedar, both of them, were considered weeds. People didn't want them on their property unless they were, I want this super ornamental, whatever. So I'm going to get my little bowl radius thing on here and get that cleaned up, or rather, actually, instead, since I haven't had much noise today, let's make some. I'm really pleased with how the repair went. So far, how the um, components are working. I like the fit of them, the newer parts over the old. Although, I mean, it was a little tight. But, on the other hand, that definitely ensures a good seat on the bearing, face of the bearing. So, grain of salt. Just lost a packet of abrasives. No! No! Okay. Nope, not that one. Where'd it go? There it is. Well, glad to see you, man. Glad to see you. How's your day going? How are the fires up there, man? Huh? Gotcha. Well, fortunately, I got the parts from the sled. They weren't supposed to be here till Friday, so I wasn't planning on turning or having a stream today. But the parts came in, so I figured, hey, let's stream repairing the lathe and then testing it. So things are turning out pretty well so far. And just about done sanding this too. Okay, that looks good. Hey, now. Boy, that almost sounds like a song. Tears for Fears, in fact. Whoa! That will do, sir. That will do. Oh, wait, a little bit right here. That last one was me leaving a tool mark. Alright, groovy. That'll do. I'm looking for the off switch for that guy because now that I haven't had to deal with lathe noise, that just seems louder. Huh. Boy, I hope these parts last. This is a really nice experience. I know I talk about it a lot, but you know, turning for a couple hours this lathe, and times I wear earplugs just because. Not that it was like so loud, but the noise was irritating. Looking for this guy in the drawer that's now filled with shavings. All right. So there is my low shallow bowl. Let's turn that off. And maybe that off. Hey, that helps a little bit. So low shallow bowl, rimmed bowl. Let's not do that. And with an oblong rim. It's just enough off that it catches the eye. I think I wanted a little subtle difference, and that's it. So now all I need to do is sand this off, which actually I can do with this guy, turns out. over here. Well, I dug into it a little bit with that other sander, which is always something I try to pay attention to. So I'm going to have to give that a little bit more attention to clean that little divot up. But that's okay. There's the finished product. The test has gone well. I don't know. I may dye this guy. I don't know, but you can see. I think you can kind of see the subtle thickness change. It's going to have four corners more or less, as oblong oval, or I forget what they call that. It's oval that's more. It's more square. An oval that has corners, at least very slight ones. Cannot remember the name of that shape, but anyway. We'll just call it ovoid. Ovoid. So that's peace poplar. Turned very nicely. Thank you to TC Millworks. I mean, it was paid for, but still, they put that little piece up for sale and didn't charge me much. So thank you very much for giving me a nice piece of poplar to play with. All right, let's wrap this guy up. All right, so that was fun.
That is a great looking bull.
Hey, thank you very much. I think it is unusual enough. Clean this guy off. That
I like the HRM compound.
Thank you. All right. See if I can. Yeah, so it just defines the bowl without making, I thought about completing the bead, but I like the look of this better. It doesn't have to have the complete bead, but I got to turn a quarter of a bead. That's good enough. Just enough to give it definition, and then when there's a finish on it, it'll pop out.
Try to make one like it for Christmas.
Oh man, go for it. You got to let me know when you get a chance to get to the lathe, and maybe if you can put it on your phone on Twitch or whatever, I'll be happy to watch that. I know you threatened to do that for a while.
It separates it from the other bowls you see.
Yeah, exactly. This might be a design I will keep because I'm intending to make an 8-piece service set at some point. Well, and probably more than one because I've already got 2 orders and I haven't even started these. So when you do that, I want a set. I'm like, okay. So I think this is a design I'm going to go with for the bowls, maybe even the plates too. I think I like this, and I think I want to keep that. I don't know. There's design ideas that I'm playing with because I do want to do an 8 service set. So that means plate, serving plate, which is a platter basically. Well, I guess I don't need that. Just 8 plates, eight smaller plates, 8 cups, eight cups, and then the saucers for those. And then I think that's it. But when I get there, I'm like I say, I'm still playing with the design ideas. I really like this one. I like this one. It's different. It is very, very different. It looks cool. All right, so howdy, folks. For those of you who may have come in late or unfamiliar with the channel, my name is Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. Found out I had a knack for it. Fell in love with it. And then I started teaching it and fell in love with that. So I'm always trying to improve myself as a turner. So I started this channel to become a better. I started this channel to become a better demonstrator, a better teacher, and a better turner because the secret sauce is practice. And practice can get you stuff like this. This is not that difficult. It's having all the little pieces. There's a lot of pieces of the puzzle. It takes practice to get there, but that's the key. Just takes practice. Anybody can do stuff like this. It may not be exactly the same, but everybody's got their own little twist on turning and all that stuff. Anyway, I'm not trying to be like anybody else. I enjoy taking classes from turners that I feel can help me find my own voice, right? And I found a really, I mean, every single instructor I've had has been just a really groovy dude, or dudette, for that matter. And I've learned a lot along the way, and all of that, along with my own practice and working within my own body mechanics. Take a little piece from here, a little piece from there, see what works. I enjoy learning. I enjoy learning about wood turning. Just period. I know I'm only touching the tip of the iceberg to all that is wood turning, and probably not even that. Probably the tip of the iceberg. But there's a lot to learn and a lot to explore. I want to, and that's another reason I have this channel going too. I want to inspire people to explore, to get out there, turn. It's the practice that makes the difference. Proper practice. Uh, I don't believe in the adage that practice makes you perfect, because practice just makes you better at doing what you were practicing. Perfect practice makes you perfect, but nobody. I mean, it's. I don't know if that's attainable, because I don't think there's a perfect turner out there. Everybody makes mistakes, and you have to allow yourself the permission to do that. Don't let that hang you up, because you are going to eventually make a mistake at some point. Like, even well-known turners occasionally make mistakes. I sometimes make mistakes because I lose focus for a minute. Maybe I'm at the lathe a little too long and just slightly fade, and I'll have a design change that I need to work with. Um, Everybody makes mistakes. I used to make a lot more as an earlier turner, but I also didn't until I started getting proper instruction. I made tons of mistakes and broke a lot of things, and fortunately did not get hurt that bad. I could have gotten hurt pretty bad doing some of the things that I was doing. Didn't know any better. Um, but anyway, now it's an endeavor that I really enjoy doing all the time. It is my therapy. That keeping bees, among other things. It's pursuits I think are worthwhile. So, at least for me. So, anyway, that's why this channel exists. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support along the way. Um, and I hope to see you tomorrow evening. I'll be at a special location, TC Schmo's Lathe. We're going to turn and carve a Halloween pumpkin, which means I got to look for my tea lights. And it'll be fun. It'll be a Halloween thing. Why the heck not? And I get to hang out with a friend across town. And you got to hang out with us. So I'll be on tomorrow night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there. And as always, I hope you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks again for joining me. Good night.